I currently work as a TV presenter. That keeps me very, very busy indeed. I present lots of Premier League football, so all the Premier League coverage that goes out around the world. So I'm in a place called Stockley Park where I host all the live matches every weekend. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on BBC's coverage of the snooker, and also I work with ITV on their football coverage. So basically my life is very busy with lots of different sport, but that's what mainly keeps me busy. Apart from that, I love to play sport, love to play tennis, and I guess I'd describe myself as probably like a family girl. Family and friends, when I do have free time, they keep me very busy and very occupied. So I contracted meningitis when I was 16. As most 16-year-olds are, I was extremely busy, playing lots of sport. I was in my first year of A-levels, and what happened was I was working in a cafe at the time, saving up money for my gap year. I remember coming home and feeling really ill, just a bit run down. I had a very severe headache, and I remember speaking to my parents, just saying, look, I don't feel right. And as you do, you just think it's just a headache and you'll brush it off and you'll feel fine the next day. But throughout the course of the evening and into the night, it got progressively worse. So my mum called a doctor.
She got worse during the night, so I had to call an emergency doctor in. Asked him if these symptoms were of meningitis, and he didn't agree with me. Just gave her anti-sickness tablets and went and said I should consult the doctor in the morning if she got worse.
He just said, look, you're okay, you've got signs of a flu really. And a couple of hours later, the symptoms got worse. My mum came into the room, turned on the light, and I couldn't bear the light. My neck was starting to hurt.
All the symptoms were quite, obvious that this could be meningitis.
I think, Mum, I remember on the bookshelf in our house, she has a book about health that gives you, it's all like the A to Z of health, so everything in between that you could possibly have, what the signs and symptoms are. And on one of the pages it was about meningitis, so Mum had already read about it and knew about it, and because of the light, because of the neck stiffness, she knew straight away that it could be, or she suspected it could be meningitis.
But by the morning, I couldn't wake her up. She seemed to be unconscious, and shaking her, trying to wake her up, she just wouldn't. So I then decided to get an ambulance and took her to the hospital.
I don't remember any of this because I was literally knocked out completely.
And then from there on, she was like, even when we walked in through A&E, she was completely unresponsive.
Got to the hospital and I did fall into a coma for 8 hours.
Well, then the registrar came, and I explained to him that she was showing symptoms of meningitis, and he accepted what I said and started the treatment.
So all of that I don't really remember, but my parents of course have told me the stories, and it was a really tough time for them.
She wasn't conscious until quite late in the evening, until they did a lumbar puncture on her. So it took a number of hours. She didn't show any signs of a rash or anything like that.
It took me a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in hospital to really get back to fitness. And I remember one specific thing that I was told from the doctors at the time was that, look, you've contracted meningitis, and if you weren't so fit and healthy and sporty, your body may not have pulled through this in the way that it has. So that's the experience that I had. After that, I was really fortunate to not have any lasting effects, but it's something that will always stay with me, that I managed to pull through it because I did have that fitness and that sporty background. So yeah, that was the experience that I've had. Well, I think now I fast forward quite a few years since I suffered from meningitis, and because I work as a sports presenter and I'm in the public eye, and I always in my heart wanted to come and support any charity support associated with meningitis, because it is something that's so close to my heart, and it's important to me now because with the profile I have in the public eye, I want to be able to raise awareness really and spread the message. I think with meningitis, it's one of those diseases that it's really hard to detect. It's hard to understand what it is, although there's so much research and such great work that's been put into understanding more about it. When I was 16, I thought I had a cold, I thought I had a flu, and I think we still hear those stories today. So I do want to make sure that I can do my bit to spread the message, raise awareness, and also help those that are still living with it in their lives in any shape or form. If I cast my mind back to when I was 16, I thought I was invincible. Like, I didn't think that anything could touch me. And one thing I've learned today from speaking to the team, and I think it's the one thing that I'll walk away with in my mind that resonated with me so much, is that trust your instinct. If you don't feel right, don't just assume that it's a flu or that it's a cold. If you don't feel right and you know that there's just not something right about how you are that day, you know your own body, go and get it checked. Don't take risks. We know that the 16 to 24-year-old age category are quite prone to getting meningitis. So if you are in that age group, I know life gets busy. I know you've got big priorities, exams, social life, it's important. But if you don't feel right, I would always make sure you get yourself checked. And I think it just takes a couple of minutes to go on a website, to go on the handle, the Meningitis Now handle, and read up on the signs and symptoms. And also make sure, if you're a parent out there, because I'm really lucky that my mum and dad were aware, but if they weren't, I don't know if I'd still be here right now. So I think that it's really important for parents to educate themselves and obviously spread the message to their children. And that's, I guess, the best that we can do.
Awareness is very important, and when you have any symptoms like those, it's very important to look at it and get it seen to very quickly, because it can change in 3 or 4 hours. It was 3 or 4 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That can make a lot of difference. So the earlier the better.
Parents should read up about different diseases so they know that they can recognize the symptoms. Even if they suspect the symptoms, they should act fast and not leave it thinking it could be something else. And of course, the other thing is vaccination. Unfortunately, when Seema contracted meningitis, they didn't have that vaccine available.
Looking at the media, Google it, if I may use the word. Look on the internet, social media, yes. Just type, and I think you get a lot of information on that as well. So, yes, lots of things have improved in the last 15, 16 years.
All the work that's being carried out by Meningitis Now in supporting all the families who have gone through this experience, either they've lost somebody or they've suffered some sort of a setback. And I think anyone concerned can phone up Meningitis Now, who are brilliant in the work they do.
Yeah, when we came here, we looked at a place around. They were very helpful, showed us what their work they do, and very well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.